Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, some kind of star thing. Woo! That sounds right.
Oh, wait.
Sure.
We are here on episode 164.
Woo!
Yay! Hot diggity dog. As usual, I'm still fucking sick. This is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
I'm James.
This is Chris.
As you'll probably hear, there's still lack of Jake this week as well, because this sickness fucking sucks.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, good, Jake's here. He's fine.
Hello.
Yes, yep. Jake is ill. He wasn't sold piece by piece by Rossi to organ harvesters.
I'm your Jake.
That's what happens when the Ferengi die.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Ferengi doing shit, Star Trek. Like you do. We are doing 2 more DS9 episodes this week, like we tend to do sometimes. Those episodes are Profit and Loss and Blood Oath. This is a fun fucking week, guys. I like this week.
Yeah, it's good.
Better than the last week.
Oh, yes.
First, let's talk about Profit and Loss. So here we are, hanging out on DS9, doing the thing. All of a sudden, this Cardassian ship is coming in hot. And they're like, oh fuck, this Cardassian ship looks like it's been some kind of battle thing or something. Let's beam them over and make sure they're going to survive, because they're going to fucking blow up any second now. They beam over the Cardassians who are on this ship. We meet Professor Natima Lang and her 2 students, Rekelin and Hogue. And we learn very quickly, as, you know, they're going to get their ship fixed up. And they said, okay, in the meantime, let's go hang out at Quark's. Because Quark is the former lover of Natima Lang. Woo! Fucking hot. Jesus fucking Christ, this was a hot episode.
It was hot.
I was super into it.
Me too.
So Quark comes out and says, Natima, my love, I missed you. And she slaps him in the face. And you're like, yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
She's like, I don't want anything to do with you anymore, Quark. I'm done with you. And he's like, but, okay. And then he convinces them to come back, have a drink, and they're having a drink, and all of a sudden, Garrick walks by. And Natima and her students are like, uh-oh. There's another Cardassian here on Deep Space Nine? That's not good, because we're hiding from Cardassians. Because, dun dun dun, we're actually like terrorists or something. We learned that these 2 students are opposed to the militaristic government of the Cardassians, and they're looking to find ways to change that. But obviously, the militaristic government of Cardassia is very opposed to that and want them very dead.
Super dead.
Strangely enough.
The deadest. Quark is just trying to get his lady friend back, and she's not into it for any of it, until he says, well, maybe I can get you guys off the station, because I have this cloaking device that Odo was giving me guff about, that me saying that I didn't have, but I totally do. Whoops. I'll let you guys have the cloaking device, get the fuck out of here, and escape if you convince Natima to stay with me, because I want her to be safe and also be my fuck buddy again, please. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll help you out, because we need to get the fuck out of here, or we're gonna get fucking killed. Meanwhile, Gul Toran, a rival of Garrick, meets up with Garrick to say, so, those Cardassians that are over there right now, we need you to fucking assassinate them, please. We won't accept anything less than total assassination. And then we'll accept you back on Cardassia. And Garrick's like, ooh, I want that. I would love to go home again, please. So I'll do it. And he's like, okay, cool. So meanwhile, Quark has, talked with Lady Friend for a while. She's like, I don't want to stay with you though, Quark. I'm not into this. In fact, I've got this gun machine, and if you don't give me the fucking cloaking device and I can leave with my students, I'm gonna shoot you. And he's like, no you won't. And she's like, yeah, I will. And she does. And she's like, whoops, I didn't actually mean to. I'm so sorry, Quark. I fucking love you. Aww. So fucking cute. And she agrees, okay, I'll stay with you then, Quark. It'll be all okay. But then Odo comes in and everyone's under arrest. Why?
The fuck, Odo?
Damn it, Odo, you fucking twerp. So Odo arrests everybody because the Bajoran Provisional Government had said, yes, we'll give them over to Cardassia because they're going to give us some more Bajoran prisoners. There's still Bajoran prisoners, guys. What the fuck? Damn it, Cardassia, stop hiding prisoners from us. But Quark goes and appeals to Odo because the 2 of them are such fucking buddies. And Quark gives 85 fucking reasons why Odo should help him. And Odo agrees to help him because of justice. Because Odo. So Odo goes and he releases Natira and Natira's Bones' girlfriend, Natima, It's confusing.
I could see why you get them mixed up, though.
They're both fucking hot.
And they're both fucking hotties.
And so Odo releases them. We're going off to their ship, which is ready to go now. They've got the cloaking device ready. They're about to step on when, oh no, Garrick is in the way. And he's got several fucking guns.
What the fuck,
Garrick! And Garrick's like, I gotta kill all of you, including Quark, which is a shame because I wouldn't want to mess up such a great suit.
Oh my god, and as a side note, his suit in this episode were fucking amazing. Seriously
Quark's
fucking
looks great.
awesome.
Quark looked fucking great.
He always looks great, but especially great this time.
Yeah, this was a great suit this week. So Garrick's like, well, I'm sorry I gotta kill everybody. This thing happens. And he's dithering, and Quark is, pleading for everyone's lives. He's like, yeah, I don't know, you kill the students. I don't care about them. Kill the students. Let me and Natima go. It'll be fine.
And Natima's like, Quark!
You can't do that. There's no more resistance without them. Whatever. But then Gul Turan jumps back in and says, Garrick, I knew you wouldn't be able to do it yourself because you're a pushover, and I wasn't actually going to let you back on Cardassia because why would I do that? Fuck you. And he takes Garrick's gun.
I think that's exactly what he said.
Basically. But Garrick says, but I've got all these 12 other guns, and kills Turan anyway.
Well, said
Yay.
he disarmed Quark, so he shot Quark's gun.
Oh, is that where that came from?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah, if you look, Quark had been pointing a gun at Garrick, and then Garrick just took it. Cause,
and Turan miscounted the guns.
Yep. He didn't know that Garrick had grabbed a second one.
1 + 2 + 2 + 1.
Yeah, so Garrick kills the fuck out of Turan and says, alright, well, since I can't go back to Cardassia anyway, I guess I'll let you guys be free. And they're like, yay, Garrick is our hero, even though he nearly was about to kill us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Jake has thoughts, I'll tell you later.
I think it was Garrick's plan, but
That's what Jake thinks this was Garrick's plan all along.
Well, even if it was, though, it seemed pretty certain that he was going to kill them for a minute. Even if it was his plan,
yeah.
I would never trust him again.
oh god, yeah. Well, if you trusted him in the
should
first
never
place, that was
trust
your
him.
mistake.
I mean, here's the thing.
Well, but they do, right? They let him stay. They're all just kind of like, we don't really get him. He's like a man of mystery.
Garrick is somehow still the most trustworthy Cardassian ever.
because you know not to trust him.
Right.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, all the other Cardassians are like, no, we're trustworthy. And
You're
Garrick's
like,
no,
no,
we're
Never
not.
trust me.
No.
Anything I say, don't believe it.
Like, Garrick is constantly lying, but also pointing you in the right direction via his lies. It's insane.
Yeah, he is incredibly fascinating.
Are we good to talk about stuff? Or
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
And the only thing that happens at the end is Natima leaves without staying with Quark, and everyone has a sad about that.
It's a real bummer.
It's kind of a Casablanca moment.
The original title of the episode was going to be
Casablanca.
Here's Looking at You.
Ha!
And then they're like, oh no, legal purposes. Shit. No, don't do that.
That's stupid. They should be able to call
I
it
mean,
that.
I think they probably could actually call it that.
The thing is, it's it's a little too on the nose and gives it away.
Yeah.
I've still never seen Casablanca.
Oh my god, it's
Even though Dee gave us all that guff back when we watched We'll Always Have Paris.
Yo, it's so good though. I mean, just for yourself, you should see it.
One of these days.
It's not
You gotta
because
gotta watch that, and then you have to watch Overdrawn to the Memory Bank.
No,
I've
you
seen
don't
Overdrawn in the
have
Memory
to
Bank.
watch it.
Yes, Garrick.
The scene with Garrick and Quark discussing quote unquote suits was really,
discussing suits
really
with it
good.
being
But
very clear
sometimes
they
they-
weren't talking about suits at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
no.
the whole time was just being like, wow, your friend's clothing sure is radical. Like
Would be a
like-
shame if someone ripped the seams.
it's
God.
like sometimes people who wear clothes like that go out of fashion.
It was really cool. I liked it.
The two most dishonest people on the station having a conversation. It's amazing.
It's very
Yeah.
cute. And they're so well dressed.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was just such a good, fun little discussion. Where, it's like the entire time you could never point to anything Garrick said that was not innocent, technically.
There was a point I read somewhere, I want to say probably on Memory Alpha or something, where Garrick accidentally told the truth at one point, which was when I think he was talking with Bashir and having one of his flirt talks with Bashir about how I'm an exile and an ex-spy or something like that. Or what was it?
I never admitted to either.
So he says, so it's like, Bashir says, so what are you? Are you an exile or are you a spy? And he's like, I could be an exile spy. But he doesn't say I am an exile. He said I could be,
Is that what he says? That's
yeah,
fucking
he never fully, like, he says exactly, he's an exiled spy. Like, that is what he is, but he never says it. He says, it's like, well, I could be an
and then
exiled
Julian's
spy.
like, no, you can't be both
How
things.
could you be both? That doesn't make
That's
sense.
not a thing.
Yeah. But, like, yeah.
Come over here, you.
And then later, just he is an exiled spy, but he, even in the conversation where he says those words, he's not admitting it.
No.
So fucking cute.
Yeah.
He and Julian just with their flirt talks together. Just fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that we discovered that there is a Cardassian neck version of Umox.
Oh boy, yeah.
I mean, like,
it's
not explicitly called that, but it definitely looked like when Quark was giving his lady the rub.
And she was giving him the Umox.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, this is pornographic. They should be blurring all of
That's
this.
your goodbye, is you just give him a good stroke, and then you walk away.
Oh, it was early in that, though. There was the scene when he's in her quarters, and that's where he's, like, fondling her neck
ridge,
and she's going for his ear. And...
Yeah, she had such a small head compared to the neck.
Yeah, I actually noticed that, too. It's like, it looks really good on Cal Dukat, but on
great.
her, it would just look
Always.
super awkward, and it's not her fault. It's just because
You know who that was?
I don't.
That
I don't
is
have any clue.
that is Mary Crosby, the daughter of Bing Crosby, and Denise Crosby's aunt.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
Apparently she was big in Dallas or some shit.
Oh, the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for a second I thought you meant the city. I was like, wow, really?
Neat.
Dallas just likes her. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
She's huge. It's like how Hasselhoff's big in Germany, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like her, I feel like her and Quark's chemistry was mostly one-sided just because Armin Shimmerman is just so fucking charismatic and she was such a tiny-headed Cardassian.
Well, it was also...
tiny-headed, big-necked Cardi.
It was difficult because she also had to, like, spend most of the episode acting like she wasn't still into him. So that's kind of hard to work with.
She obviously was.
Super was. Everyone would be.
Oh man, we saw the return of
was.
the Sumerian sunset.
We did.
I love it.
That was nice.
And I love the comment of, oh, I don't drink those anymore because they remind me of you. And he's like, well, I'm already
I'm
here.
right here.
It's a pretty good argument.
Yeah.
Drink the drink.
You're looking at me anyway.
God, no one finishes their fucking drinks this episode. Drives me crazy.
And,
just like-
and
just
Troy
like
never
soup.
got her chocolate.
God damn it.
I just want to say that I am, like, the notes I have are actually the notes a friend wrote up, and I just stole them. And I may or may not have asked permission for that, because I couldn't write my own notes at the time.
Why weren't you writing? What were you doing that you weren't writing your own notes?
I wasn't at my computer. I was watching on my phone.
Ah.
But one of the quotes is, Quark has a butt on the front of his head. And
Have they not seen Star Trek before?
No, they've every episode I've watched, they've joined me with.
So they know full
watching
well.
them. Oh yeah, no. So there might have been maybe like so that's why I wanted to bring it up because like just very specifically like it was enough to be commented on. So maybe it looked more like a butt than usual.
I think compared to Natima's head,
Yeah,
because I think that's one of the reasons why I was like so distracted by the whole makeup shape that they gave her.
Yeah.
Because they made her neck look enormous.
It was really
it looked like
big.
it did not go with the rest of her. Because
Well,
it
you know
made
what
her
it
head
was?
look really small,
It
but
was
it's
like-
also compared to him because you know the Ferengi has the extra kind of bulbous bullshit on the back,
the butt.
Yeah.
The head butt.
the head butt.
I also just kind of wonder if they just like didn't feel like spending money to get a new prosthetic, so they just used Gal Dukat's and were like, "Well, it doesn't look right, but we're on a budget."
They might have that actually.
No, I don't think you can reuse ridges like that.
Well, they would look weird.
No, and
but...
I know Ducat's ridges, and those aren't his ridges.
No, I don't think they'd be Ducats, but they probably have like
Some stock
extras,
ridges.
Maybe.
like it's like these are what we use for other people.
I was honestly distracted by the fact that apparently Cardassian women, and maybe the men too, but there's an additional spoon down by like the sternum.
I feel like we don't usually see their chests.
Right, we don't.
Because
Like,
they wear those big fucking honking...
Yeah, like every
chest
time.
coverings.
Yeah, like the military uniforms cover right up to the base of the neck. Garak always has a suit that, goes all this. I think this is the first time we've seen like a Cardassian woman in casual wear.
Cardassian cleavage.
Yes. But I was just like, oh, there's another spoon. Are there more? Like, do they have them like, I don't know, on their knees?
All the way down.
Maybe their ankles have little spoons.
I don't understand what is meant by spoons.
It's the spoon impression.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
kind
why
of like a
they're-
little divot.
the circle
I'm like,
in the
what
middle
the
of
fuck
the
are we talking
forehead.
about?
But she also had one down by like her sternum.
Yes, I did notice that. I just would never have thought to call it a spoon.
Has the Cardassian slur been used in the show yet?
By us, I know it's been done.
Spoonhead.
Spoonhead.
Yeah,
That's
I
why they
forgot.
called
Why
it.
it's, yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
I don't know if that showed up in the show or not.
Yeah, no, I think. Oh no, actually, I don't think so. Because I remember I've heard Cardies because of O'Brien being a huge racist. But I think when you first said Spoonhead, I had no fucking idea what you were talking about, and I think that's because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think that's another Miles.
Oh, I mean, for sure.
So we learn, I believe, that the way that Quark and his lady fell out or something happened because he was giving aid to the Bajorans or some shit, yeah?
That's why
she liked that.
That's what
he stole money from her office.
Using her password, basically.
Yeah. It was from, he stole from, the Cardassian government, basically, I think.
Oh,
but
wow.
But he used her credentials to do it.
And that's how she fell in love with him?
No, that's why she was mad.
God damn it, Natima!
No, he was against probably a blockade or something. He was selling food to the Bajorans.
Yeah.
But I also like that
Probably just because he wanted the profit.
Selling it, not just
them
giving
food.
it to
He
them.
he wasn't getting them food. He was selling it to them.
Now, being fair, though, that's still a pretty big risk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at the return against investment or whatever, that was still, there's probably would have been easier ways to make profit.
Yeah.
It is kind of surprising he did that. I'm like, wait, what?
There was
You were so brave.
This was on Memory Alpha. There was a comment where Stephen Bear?
Yeah.
He didn't actually he didn't like that aspect of it where
I read about
Quark
this.
being heroic.
Yeah.
He would have preferred Quark to have just not been heroic.
Yeah, he said I would have preferred him to be more like a Woody Allen character.
Yeah, I
no,
wasn't
thank you.
necessarily sure. I think what they wanted to do was have him start as bad as normal and then grow into being a hero through the episode. He does something heroic.
Series.
Yeah. But or at least have him do something heroic at the end of the episode, whereas at the beginning of the episode he was just regular Quark instead of retroactively adding this assisting the resistance.
Yeah, it's like looking back on when we did Rules of Acquisition, the one where with Pell, and how Quark kind of stands up for Pell a little bit, but doesn't really go the whole way, and thinking that Pell should, continue to present as a clothed female or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, you want Quark to have the baby sex, but I also really liked him in this because you felt like, oh, he actually had feelings for this woman before, and that's something that I think could drive his character. He says at some point, I think he says, he'll sell something to them and the students. He's like, no, on the house, and they're like, really? He's like, yes. Oh, that feels so weird to say.
Well, it was the cloaking device, I think.
Yeah.
It was kind of, when he was admitting them he had it, he hits the table, does all this stuff. I thought it would be kind of funny if Odo actually was there, but was the second cup of whatever. Because he only stuck his finger in one.
There's not a good way to find Odo when Odo's playing hide and seek with you.
Yeah.
Because even if you do pound the table, is he going to pop out? No, he can still be a table.
He might go.
Maybe he can tell the difference in the texture. Maybe he knows. Wait a minute. Nope. Odo. I know it's you.
Could be.
I know you think I have a cloaking device. I totally do.
And you're absolutely right.
Odo can just be the fucking wall, man.
Fucking Odo.
That was a crazy thing in this episode, actually, though. Odo just being like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's break him out. This is dumb.
This is some bullshit.
It's like, what? Where was the conversation later? They get away and, so... Odo, how did they break out exactly?
Justice.
There's a lot of things in this episode that someone should be getting in trouble for.
I know, because now those Bajoran prisoners aren't going to be released.
The Bajoran prisoners don't get released because there's no way the Cardassians release them first, thinking they would get them released.
No, they might have.
They would have done it, and that they even exist in the first place.
Yeah.
Also, a Cardassian gull up and disappeared after visiting Deep Space Nine. A gull was incinerated on the ship, and it's just kind of it's fine. No biggie. Maybe they blame the revolutionaries for killing him. They probably do. They could maybe do that.
They're gonna get more murdered now.
Yeah,
that just props up their case against them. Really.
Right now they're super violent.
Well, except that Garrick must have had to do some kind of running around Because it was like, as far as Central Command was, new, like, he was going to go kill those people.
So I don't think we fully discussed this part of it. When the Cardassians showed up, Garrick did report them to Central Command. Like, absolutely did.
Right away.
Yeah, so just important.
He's such a little brown noser because he wants to go home.
He wants to go home, and he thought, I found, it's like, I found these people. But...
He said it to Bashir at the beginning of the episode. He'll always choose the state.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it also sounds like they were calling them terrorists. So, like, I mean, I know that could just be sort of propaganda, but, like, what is the possibility that they may have actually killed or injured people?
No, I assume they're just giving talks that the government doesn't like.
No, fair enough. Well, then that's bullshit. But that sounds exactly like Cardassia, so...
Yeah. But yeah, so either way, so he's been in touch with Central Command. They send this gull to, like, be his handler.
Yeah.
Like, surely they're gonna go, like, alright, she got away. Our gull is missing. But Garrick's still alive. They had to call him and go like, "What the fuck?" And he had to.
What?
I was late. I was making a soup.
I was busy banging Bashir. Yeah. Sorry,
Where's
guys.
the gull?
Caw. Gull just sounds too much like gull.
Yeah.
Every time we're like, yeah, a gull disappeared. Where's the gull? They needed to get the gull over there to help him with some French fries. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm fucking a little bit woo today. Obviously,
no, you have Jake's disease.
That's what.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there definitely had to be a lot of like weird. So like Garrick had to deal with the Central Command. Mm-hmm. Odo had to explain how the prisoners got away. Like, it's just all kinds of stuff going on.
And Lucy's got some splaining to do.
And Leon is getting larger.
What the fuck is that from?
Airplane.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that last week.
Why?
Airplane?
The old dude who made the Holo Village was in Airplane.
Was he?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He was like one of the many like people like at the airport. His sort of the part he's probably best remembered for is when he's on the phone. It's like, yes, he's a menace to everything in the air, including birds or something to that effect,
including gulls.
Yes, yeah. See, it's all full circle.
I love it. I don't just like it.
They really did. Like there was especially the scene where Quark and not Natira, what's her name? Natima. We're both going to do that now. Natima, when she finally admits it, and they're just together on the floor in the room, and it really was like, wow, they are just going full Casablanca at this point. This is amazing.
I liked those parts. I didn't like Quark pursuing her.
No, because he was a creepy Phantom of the Opera
it was awful.
about
it.
Yeah. He's like, well, you either spend literally it's the end of the Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. So do you end your days with me, or do I literally send you to fucking die in Cardassia? Bye. Yeah.
It was
so fucked up.
He bought her basically from her. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
So there was like the students that were like revolutionaries under her tutelage.
Not revolutionary enough that they weren't willing to fucking sell her to a fucking
and Quark was like, hey, if Natima stays here, I will give you this cloaking device so you can escape. And they're like, deal.
They were totally okay with it.
We would like to escape.
They self-justified it a little bit, being like, well, Cardassia is not after her, they're only after us.
She should survive.
But at the same time,
we shouldn't drag her into this.
The deal was explicitly, give me the girl, I'll give you a means to escape.
Yuck.
And that's awful.
Yucky.
And the problem is half the episode is Quark being like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like
until she's into it, then it's still a little like.
When she gets into it, it's colored by the fact that they spent so long with him pursuing her in that way. But if they had removed the pursuing part and found a different way to go about that, it would have worked really, really well.
If it was about pursuing her and more like, I would like to help you because I'd like you to not die.
Right.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but there's also, this is another note from my friend, mentions that, the conversation at the end where she basically says, I want to stay, but I can't because I have this responsibility. I need to continue to fight for Cardassia because there are people who want Cardassia to not be a militaristic shithole. And, her giving up her happiness in order to fight a just fight would have been, that's a pretty moving concept, an idea, and it could have been explored better if they had kind of not had as much Quark being a creep.
I think you're right, but it's also how Quark would go about it.
I mean, yeah, but they just, like, it's just such an ugly look.
Oh,
And
it
it's,
is.
like,
It is.
women being pursued.
Yeah, I happen to know, just because I read the synopsis first, that I knew that she was actually going to be really into him and reveal her love and blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
I was less flavored with the Quark. She said no. It was like, I know she's going to actually reveal to be interested.
Yeah,
Right.
that was the thing, is like, I went in being like, it was kind of surprising. Like, oh, she actually is into him? This is weird now.
Yeah, it's just like if he had stopped after she said no the first time, and then they could have found other ways to play and dance with those ideas that, you know.
Well,
there
or
is
she could have
interest there.
started pursuing him. Like, it didn't have to be him just doggedly being like,
Literally chasing her around a room.
Eventually, she literally could have just been like, okay, it's all been an act. I'm totally in love with you, but no, they had to make it creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really turned off by that.
Yeah.
I mean, I still loved the episode, and I loved their love, and I loved everything about it, but yeah, definitely while watching it, I was just kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, no, I wish they had been able to spend more time exploring them as a relationship, and, like, you know, it's like
Less time exploring Quark as a creep.
Exactly. Because it's a really interesting idea, like the kind of person that would fall in love with Quark, because they're probably super damaged. I'm staring at Ames right now.
Why?
You can't tell because it's
Am I
a podcast.
super damaged?
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm super damaged.
You're not super damaged. It was
Wow, James.
It was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
We invite James on the podcast, and what does he do?
No, let's
I'm not James. I'm James.
Let's not forget, though, there could be another angle, and that is the fact that Ferengi are huge.
Size doesn't mean everything.
No, I know, but maybe she's into that.
Maybe.
She's a size queen. I
She
don't
has
understand.
a big vagina.
Oh,
No.
no. Small.
I just wanted to bring up that very uncomfortable fact that Gene Roddenberry came up with, because what the fuck, Gene?
Wait, what?
Oh,
what are you
that's
talking
right.
about?
That was actually one of the original concepts. He wanted the idea to be that, like, Ferengi were fucking huge.
Okay.
Like their penises?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, even though they're short little aliens, they've got ridiculous hogs.
Yeah, there was a scene.
Because Roddenberry couldn't not sexualize everything.
There was a scene, I forget where.
Yes.
Of a Ferengi, like, making a gesture of how big it is, and a girl being like, Jesus fucking God, leave me alone.
Yeah, Roddenberry had problems. Speaking of damaged people.
no,
We are
I'm gonna-
this big. Oh, that's too much. Way too much.
I'm
Way
gonna
too much.
go throw up right now.
Way too. Whoa. That's like 4 inches of danger.
There's your title, Chris.
Oh. Yikes.
Turned weird.
It's like I honestly, like, when you started saying that, I was like, Chris, why are you trying to make his creepy behavior okay with, like, this really weird non sequitur about his dick being huge? But that's when I thought you were making it up.
No.
Now I'm just like, what the fuck, Gene?
Yeah, no. Like I said, the man couldn't not sexualize things. Just
I'm always thinking about other people's genitals.
that's like, it's Gene Roddenberry's Avengers moment. That's my secret. I'm always thinking about wangs.
genitals.
The horny Hulk.
Oh no!
Sorry, someone say something before I keep talking.
That's definitely a porn somewhere, and I hate it, and it's awful.
So is there anything?
Hey, is there
else
another
about this
episode we could talk about?
No. Let's talk for like a hot second about how Quark hearts Odo, but Odo hearts Justice.
Yeah. Oh, there actually
that whole
was.
scene.
Yeah.
is amazing.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you just did it for Justice? That means you didn't do it for me, and I don't know your shit. Woohoo!
That was amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
And he
How about
hugs
this?
him.
I'll let you know every single lying, scheming, horrible thing my brother Rom has done. And I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So good.
Odo's like, no deal.
I like that he was.
Well, Odo had that huge smile on his face the whole time, being like,
Yeah?
you're gonna give me
Yeah?
that? It's like, no, it's Rom's. It's like, screw it.
I did enjoy that he was reading Mickey Spillane, a Mike Hammer novel that the chief lent him. So he's really going to double down on this noir detective thing now.
Oh, yeah.
But also, appropriately enough, apparently the novel was I, the Jury.
Is that an actual novel?
Yes, it is in fact the first Mike Hammer novel. No, but I just think the title was appropriate because, of course, then he's like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm letting these people go.
Yeah.
Which is not his job as the constable, to make legal decisions.
Apparently, he's making it part of the deal.
Yep. But yeah, no, that whole scene was great. Quark basically finally admitting, like, yeah, we're friends, effectively. Do it for me, your buddy.
No.
You'd be bored if I wasn't here.
Do it for your good pal Quark.
And when he hugs him, he just let go of me.
One last thing I have that I think was kind of interesting. So this is probably what Jake was talking about with, like, so at the very end when Garrick stops them from leaving and basically says, like, so Central Command told me I'm supposed to kill you, and then Gull, what's his face, shows up and is like, you know, it's like,
I'm here to check up on you, Garrick.
So
Make sure you do the killing.
The reason I think that this was all a plan on Garrick's side to actually help them out ultimately is because the Gull guy specifically says, like, oh, Garrick, I thought you were more clever than this.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that's kind of essentially pointing out that, like, yeah, you're right. This would be a really goofy thing for Garrick to do. Why did he do it then?
Yeah, like,
and I
Jake's
think it's
saying...
yeah, it's like I think it is genuinely because that Garrick basically needed this to happen in order for them to escape. I don't necessarily know if he was expecting the revolutionaries to get, like, caught right away or something like that. I'm not totally sure. Like, there's a few things that feel a little contradictory.
Yeah, I know Jake has said, but when I basically said, like, damn, Garrick was going to kill those people. That's upsetting. And Jake said, like, I'll have to speak for Jake as he is upstairs napping. He says, like, no, Garrick would have known that, what's his name, Toran? Yeah, that Toran was there, and he put up this act so that Toran would come out and do the thing. And then Garrick could not be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because Garrick certainly knew not to trust Toran. Because Toran's a monster.
Exactly. And so that's why I think that this was his ultimate goal. And he mentions, like, what was the line? There was a specific line where he was like, you know, I believe in Cardassia or something like that, you know. Like, there was one line at the very end, essentially. And it's him, like, essentially being like, no, under military rule, things have gone really bad for Cardassia. Like, this is not okay. Like, Garrick is not a good person, and he will totally kill people who get in his way and, like, all this stuff. He is a bad person, but he might still genuinely believe that civilian rule would be better in the long run for Cardassia. And he's willing to be his shifty spy, kind of a monster self, in order to help that along if he thinks that it will help. I mean, you know? Like, he will betray the values of the society he thinks would be better suited to run Cardassia.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, like, I think he wishes the state functioned as it should, and it doesn't. So he will reluctantly, like, because, when we see him playing around, like, the last time we saw him, it was getting involved with this whole, like, power play that Dukat was trying to do against one of the few sort of really powerful civilian members of government. So, like, I don't know if he's totally on board with the civilian government thing, but at the very least, he's trying to maybe get some sort of balance in place because something has gone wrong.
Yeah, it's just like it just that I really wish I could remember the line. It would help a lot. But it felt less like I will go with the state and more like I want what's best for the planet.
Yeah.
You know.
I think he preferred to be the state, but the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, it's like they've been running their empire into the ground.
Yeah, you know? Like he sees what's happening. Well, fuck. It's like he's not a true believer, but he knows that what he has believed in just isn't there.
Yeah.
So he's got to figure something out.
Here's a question. Why does Garrick stock Cardassian fashion on Deep Space Nine when they don't really get Cardassians to come to the station?
Oh, he replicated it that morning in order to show it off. Show it off to Quark because he needed Quark to come in and he needed something to talk to him about so that he could tell him what he was really thinking.
He could make thinly veiled hints.
Literally the only reason he had a piece of Cardassian clothes was because he knew Quark was going to show up and then he could talk to him about it.
That's fucking hilarious. I would buy that.
I guarantee it.
I love that.
I just sort of prefer to think that he's really proud of the heritage of his world and he wants to introduce people to the beauty and finery of Cardassia.
It really shows up your neck ridges.
I agree with that too, though. I think that's a great point. He likes Cardassian fashion and wants to see non-Cardassians wearing it.
It's funny because he's mentioned
it shows off your chest spoon. What, you don't have one of those?
Quark hasn't been there before, but there is what is clearly just one of Quark's spare costumes on a hanger in the background.
Yeah.
So he also makes Ferengi suits.
I don't understand how he couldn't be who else is making Quark's amazing suits?
I mean, he's probably just
it's gotta
on
be
them all for years.
fine, but I would rather think that it's Garrick, and I don't understand why they would pretend otherwise.
It's Garrick from now on.
Yeah, oh yeah,
totally. Oh, it's definitely Garrick from now on, for sure.
One last thing, and then I'll shut up, I swear. I still really like how the set is designed, where they have the promenade and it's essentially like a real location because there's the bar and then literally across the way there's like Odo's office and like, it's like a short section of a hallway and those kinds of things. Because at the very beginning when Quark sees Natima, like he like jumps around the bar, chases her down and like it's a very like a very physically dynamic moment, which you don't normally get on like Star Trek sets.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
usually they're just like a room, and so there's really not all that much space for them to do anything in. And this is like, literally like it's like basically sees her from across the way, like it's like hands Odo something, like runs off, runs around, like gets
has
in front of her.
Has to jump over several counters.
Yeah, and so like
limbo under a stick.
It's like the end of Ferris Bueller, where he's running through people's backyards to get back to the house before he can get caught.
Right. Yeah. It's so it's really nice seeing them have a set where they can do stuff like that and be willing to, it's like put the time into it instead of just set up a camera.
I want somebody to put that music behind it. He's like, right. But yeah, you're right. That was cool. I liked that.
I liked it too.
Do we want to talk about another episode, guys?
Yes, we do.
And there's another episode.
And it's another good one, too. This was a very good week.
Yeah, this one's a fun week. This week, we're also talking about Blood Oath. Finally, a Jadzia episode that shows you what she's like as a person. God damn it. Anyway, here we are in Blood Oath. We start off, Quark is pissed that this Klingon, Kor, whom we've met before. Holy shit! Back in TOS times.
Yeah.
Is hanging out in his holodeck, what word am I looking for?
Repeating?
No.
Oh, replaying?
Yeah, replaying. LARPing. Re-LARPing this particular Klingon battle thing until he gets it right. And Klingons and Quark is like, that Klingon has been in here all fucking day, and he's threatened to kill me if I shut it down. And Odo, please help. And Odo convinces Kor to leave, and then Koloth, whom we've also met before.
Who we love.
In TOS. He comes to pick up Kor and be like, I'm here to pick up my buddy from the drunk tank at security. He looks too fucking drunk. Leave him.
Yeah,
fuck that guy. and again, Koloth just goes off and is a grouch somewhere, which isn't the Koloth I really remember, but I still love him.
Oh, he's older now.
That's true.
Plus,
I have stories, so.
Well, but also now, like, he remembers the good old days when the Klingons weren't like Starfleet's little bitch, sort of. So he's probably just kind of angry all the fucking time now.
Also, he had his son killed, but we'll get to that.
Well, yeah, that'll ruin your
Jadzia
life, probably.
Jadzia hears that, Kor and Koloth are on the station. They're old friends of Curzon's, which means they're friends of mine. Because of course they are.
Any friend of Curzon is a friend of mine.
So Jadzia goes and meets up with Kor and Koloth, and then Kang, whom we've also met before in TOS times, also shows up, and they're all here together, and they meet up with Jadzia, and she's like, look, I'm this person now, but I'm still kind of a little Curzon, but I'm still Jadzia, so it's interesting and weird for us. And they're like, yeah, that's especially weird for us because we've tracked down the albino, which is this Klingon asshole type guy who 81 years ago
Klingon asshole type guy.
Well, is he a Klingon? Well, we'll just talk about that later.
He looked like a Klingon.
We'll get to this. 81 years ago, Kor, Koloth, and Kang destroyed the albino's power base because he was rallying power or some kind of thing that they weren't into.
He was leading raids on Klingon, colony worlds.
Great. And the albino had all three of their first sons infected with a deadly virus and killed them. So the three of them have since sought revenge on the albino for the last 80 fucking years or so. And they finally tracked down where his base is, and they're like, we're gonna fucking get this guy. We got a blood oath against him. We're gonna get him. And Jadzia says, I want to help. And they're like, Jadzia, you can't help. You don't need to help. Your blood oath ended when Curzon died. You do not have to do this. And she's like, but I feel like I have to because I was a part of this back when Curzon was alive. I was a part of this with all of your families. I was the godfather to Kang's kid who died.
Who's named Dax.
Who's named Dax after Dax. And I would like to be a part of this, please. So Jadzia goes and talks to Kira about how much they love killing things. Kira's like, wow, I don't want to talk to you about how much I like killing things. This is uncomfortable and weird. Are you thinking about killing someone? And Jinzia's like, yeah, that me.
Was it that obvious? How could you tell?
And Kira's like, wow, well, if you kill someone, it kind of kills a part of you too, you know? And Jinzia's like, oh, that's probably a good point.
Jinzia was like, well, that sounds like a load of bullshit.
You still seem to be into it, so maybe it's all right. And she convinces the 3 Klingons that she should go with them by, like, fighting with them in the holodeck and doing all this thing and befriending Kang again and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Sisko comes to Jadzia and says, you know I'm not giving you permission to do this. And she's like, I want to do it anyway, whether you tell me to or whether you give me permission or not. I would just prefer to have permission, please. And he says, absolutely fucking not.
Don't make me disobey orders, Benjamin!
So she goes and disobeys some orders.
I don't like her very much, I have to be honest.
Lol, bye.
So she goes with the 3 Klingons, and they go off to this planet where they find that the albino has this base. And Kang comes up with this plan that's going to get them all killed. And Jadzia says, Kang,
why would you want to
Kang, between
get
you
us
and
all
me,
killed?
This is a bad plan. Are you okay with this plan? Because we're going to die if we do this plan. And he says, yes, it's time to die with honor. And she says, but living with victory would be better than that. Here's my plan. My plan is we live, maybe. And he says, okay, we'll do your plan. Maybe
today is a good time to live.
Maybe we'll win instead of expect to lose. Jesus, Kang. Not the Kang I remember either, so wow. Jeez, guy. I guess they're so old that they're like, we must do battle and die soon, otherwise what will we do with our fucking lives?
That's pretty much true, especially after they, like, dishonored their whatever by letting their kids get murderated.
How often do Klingons live as long as these guys have?
Never before in the series, I don't think.
No, they all die really young, and of stupid shit.
And of bad plans.
It's usually pointless battles.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess we've died now.
I swore a blood oath against the Klingon chef.
Well, I think what it is most of them, like, if they get to a certain age, they just go, like, well, fuck, I'm gonna go pointlessly die in a dumb fight, so I die a warrior.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool if, like...
someone does the scream at me.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they did, like, a history of, like, fighting for lost causes as a way to, like, end themselves.
No such thing as a Pyrrhic victory in Klingon worlds.
Yeah.
You either win or you die with honor.
All right, let me finish this up. We're almost there. So we're at the planet. Jadzia finds this way that disables all of the disruptors on the planet, including their own. But you know what? Now we're on even footing because we can use our batliths and our fists. And we go through this really, really long fucking fight scene in which Jadzia does the whole uppercut thing with the batleth about 50 fucking times because they had no fucking creativity with what to do with her.
Well, it's also just an ideological weapon.
True.
I thought watching Koloff doing his
calisthenics
was awful. I was like, oh honey, you're old. I love you, but you're old and it looks awkward.
I thought that was on purpose.
Oh really?
He's such a sweetie.
It didn't even feel like I'm old, so this is difficult. It felt like I'm a human being that's never actually done a Klingon thing because I'm a human being, so why would I know how to use a batleth?
Anyway, sorry, we
almost
interrupted
and also I'm old.
So then,
oh, sorry, Ames, Jesus.
Speaking of Koloth, whoops, he dies.
No.
Sorry, Koloth. Speaking of Kang, whoops, he dies! Jesus Christ, Kang! But Kang takes the albino down with him, whilst Jadzia has him kind of distracted while she's wondering, oh god, I don't think I can kill this guy.
Which was nice. That worked out in her favor.
Oh good, I don't have to, thank god. But then Kang dies, and then Kor is still here. He's like, oh, I'm injured, but I guess I'll live. Sure. And then they've defeated everybody. Yay! Victory! Kapla! No one does the death yell for their friends.
I also noticed and was pissed.
What the fuck?
I was really
assholes.
Mad. I was super mad.
Aww.
Very angry. Jadzia goes home and Sisko gives her a look, but I guess she's okay.
I liked that ending, but I don't think she's not okay. Like that, the ending
is she not in trouble?
No. So I feel like we should talk about the ending after we talk about not ending.
Let's talk about the ending.
No! It's so weird, because, like...
To see them all with head ridges?
Yeah, because it's like, cause especially Koloth and the leader,
Kang,
they have such distinct voices That, like, right away, like, oh god, I can see you in my mind what you used to look like in the show.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's like, but now you're a new Klingon, but it's still you.
And
this
you have
is
so
weird.
much more hair.
Yes.
I do like that apparently the actors, when they showed up, they were like, okay, let's do the makeup. And then when they realized they had to get, like, the Klingon makeup, the modern Klingon makeup, they're like, I was not prepared for this. Like, they thought they were going to get the old-style Star Trek makeup.
Yeah. The producers, they had, like, a long debate about, okay, do we put them in the old makeup, which you've seen these actors do? Or do we do the new makeup, which will make sense in the world? And if we do the new makeup, do we address it?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we can't possibly address it.
Yeah.
It'll make no fucking sense. We'll address it someday in another episode because we're fools.
Well, it's just changing. We've already talked about this. It's just changing fashions, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they said to the actors, oh yeah, it's because you're older. Yup.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay.
Oh man, I don't know, like, what the best answer would have been. It would have been kind of funny if they were just 60s bronzer Klingons. And
No.
I'm glad they weren't.
I think I'm glad
it's
too.
more impressive, and it's
yeah.
more, you can see more Klingoniness in them this way.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I went back and I rewatched all 3 episodes that feature these guys from TOS. So I went and rewatched Trouble with Tribbles, I went and rewatched Errand of Mercy, and I rewatched Day of the Dove this past week. Oh, Day of the Dove is rougher than I remember.
I was gonna say, is that why you're not feeling well? You just made yourself sick on Star Trek?
Also, there's so much less of Koloth than I thought there was in Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah, he's barely
It's
in it.
really a fucking shame.
But he looks nothing like a Klingon.
No,
like, the way
and
we
he
know
acts
them,
nothing like a Klingon.
No, he's just a dude who, again, I think they have bronzer. They didn't really...
He didn't even have that much bronzer as compared to the other two.
No. Well, because they came later. He was like a first season Klingon, and I don't think we saw the other two until... Well, no, actually, I guess we might have seen Kor.
Kor was the first one we met.
Oh, okay.
Kor was the first Klingon we ever saw on TOS.
Okay.
And Trouble with Tribbles was season 2.
I didn't actually know that they were...
Oh, yeah, it was, because it was Chekhov was in it. Sorry, I totally forgot.
I didn't know they were returning, so that was kind of cool to find
Oh, really?
out. Yeah.
You've never seen them before?
No, I've
they
only
had
seen a handful of
There was
the original series.
Yeah, the writer originally was just planning on 3 rando characters, like entirely new characters, until writers or somebody, comes to him and says, hey, we could just use Klingons that we've seen before.
Yeah.
From TOS. We're pretty sure they're still all alive. And they tracked down Kalikos and Sarah pretty quick, and they're like, where the fuck is William Campbell? Where the fuck is this guy? And they finally found him doing Star Trek cruises.
Oh, no.
They're like, oh, he's been right here this whole time.
Wow.
Which is exactly the story you told me earlier. That's so funny. Chris was like, Ames has probably got this information, but let me tell you about this thing. And
Stop
I was
doing
like,
my research for
course.
me, Chris.
I mean, I normally don't, but this episode was just... Actually, I was mostly looking to see if, as I suspected, the exterior of the Albinos compound was a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Oh, yeah.
Those do stand out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was just so fun. It's like, wow, it's all these guys, and it's still obviously them, but they're a little different now, and it's weird.
Yeah, I think they convinced Kalikos, the one who played Kor, because he reads it and he says, why am I just a kind of a belligerent drunk? That's not all like my original character. I'm supposed to be this, really foolhardy, gung-ho, fight-em-up kind of guy, and now, who the fuck am I? And they're like, no. You're gonna have such a turn at the end, and how about... if you're the one that lives. And he's like, okay, that.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
what I want. I want to be the one that lives, please.
I did like that the actors cared enough, about, like, the legacy of, like, the one episode that they did. But,
he showed up a couple times, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think...
Did Kang show up a few times?
No.
Didn't one of these guys show up a few times? I know Koloth didn't. Koloth was a one-off,
I think
sadly.
technically one of them appeared twice.
Oh, but
in
it was
that
a different Klingon?
It was TAS.
Oh.
And they were voiced by Dewey.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Kor.
No, Koloth.
No, it wasn't Koloth.
Koloth was in More Tribbles, More Troubles.
Oh, that's
Or Tribbles,
unfortunate.
is that the
I
title?
thought,
maybe 2 of them did.
I thought Cyrano O. Jones was... No. Wait
What?
a minute. I didn't remember Koloth turning up. I thought we saw Kor again.
We definitely
Kor
saw
being
Koloth.
the Fu Manchu one.
I don't remember seeing Kor again. I
could be wrong.
specifically remember seeing Koloth again.
I could be wrong. I believe you. I don't know.
But either way, yeah, like the one of them did appear at least twice, but again, it was TAS,
Yeah.
doesn't really count.
I know they kept hoping to use more of Kor in TOS, but kept not being able to secure John Kalikos.
I see.
I thought their acting was really good.
They were awesome. They were
Yeah.
cool guys. I don't know. I meant to check and then I forgot to check to see how old they all were during the time of filming.
They had all passed away by like 2003 or something like that.
Oh.
Like pretty soon afterward. I mean, they were up there apparently.
That's
believe.
wicked sad.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Thanks,
I thought
James.
it's like you're welcome. No, it's like I thought like it was just really fun, good acting. It was a really good Klingon episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's also really lovely to see Jadzia do something very Klingon-y, because we saw her last week doing some Klingon opera with that fucking restaurateur, our best Klingon friend, the restaurateur.
It feels like often Jadzia, like they pay lip service to her being all of these things and like knowing all of these things.
Oh yeah,
but this
having
was one
all of these lives.
Yeah, it's like, but this was one of the first examples of her like just actually being what they say she is, which I enjoyed a lot.
And there was a nice touch with that where it's like she's setting up so they can disable the weapons. And he's like, is that possible? It's like, well, I mean, if Curzon was here, no.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
I'm
not
a science
Curzon.
officer or whatever she said.
No, and there's also that fantastic moment where what's the line? I have it like right here actually. Blah 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 blah. Oh, Curzon, my beloved old friend. And she says, I'm Jadzia now. And he says, Jadzia, my beloved old friend. And like doesn't skip a beat. Like
I also wrote that down as my first note.
Yeah, and that's just awesome. And like there's a lot of things in here that like actually kind of point to Jadzia having like gender fluidity and things, being like, you know, it's like, I hope you embrace me as your brother. You know, it's like
you are no brother. Koloth laughs at her for being a godfather and a brother.
She's like, no, I'm his godfather.
That sounds like
that's what I am.
But like having Jadzia play this thing where like I am more than one thing. You know, it's like yes, I may be, you know, Jadzia the woman, but I was Curzon the man that you knew and like were very close to, and like I am both of these things. And those moments were really good, and they actually they handled it pretty well in the episode. It seemed like there was never any specific moment where they're like, you can't do this, you're a girl. You know, it was always
Koloth and Kang were both kind of like, you can't go with us, you're a girl, but they win him over.
But they never said that it was because it was a girl. It was because like you're not Curzon.
Yeah, you're not Curzon.
They denied that.
We don't know if you can fight. And then she's like, I can fucking fight. Here's a fucking bat lift.
Unless you've become old and feeble. I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that.
But yeah, no, it's just like, it's like there are definitely times where they're like, no, you're not Curzon, you're not coming. And eventually they come around to accepting Jadzia as Dax, you know, except for Ko, who's just totally into it pretty much right away.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, no, he's like, okay.
He's like, cool, you're Jadzia now, that's awesome.
Also, just double check. Both Kor and Koloth showed up in TAS, voiced by Dewin.
Damn it, Dewin.
What's he doing there?
Man, I think they finally, like, this is what they've been trying to get at with all these other Jadzia episodes, and they finally found a way to...
The layers that is Jadzia.
And the interactions, and they finally figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, the duality of, I have a blood oath as Curzon.
Yeah. I
am not Curzon, but I'm still Dax. Dax is part of that blood oath, but, you know, I feel like I need to be a part of this, even though it's not emphatically required.
Yeah. There was a nice... I thought there was also a nice inclusion where the Klingons respected the Trill culture. Where, because in Trill culture, the second you're a new... You know, you like, when you're put into a new host, you're a different person. So you do not have to, you know, you don't owe anything to anything the previous host said or did or made promises for. Like, you're essentially released of all those obligations because you are a new person.
I don't know. And when we saw the episode Dax and Curzon was thought that he murdered someone. What the fuck happened in that episode?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe they'll eventually figure it out. I like this version.
Yeah.
Who knows what next week will have? Who knows what previous weeks had? But I like this version where, you know, it's like, you know, and it was nice that the Klingons were, you know, like, no, you don't owe us this.
Well, that's just, I think the thing is, the issue sort of becomes like every culture will respond to this concept differently. You know, like this guy's culture was like, no, I want my vengeance, so I am going to say, fuck it, you're the same person. Klingons, I think it's just for Klingons, probably easier, which is, you know, considering they're a culture that, like, you can dishonor generations of your family, but you've got something that's literally, in a way, the same being ongoing, but they're still just like, we're good. This is too fucking complicated. We're good. You know what? We're, boom. Which seems very Klingon when you think about it. But yeah, it's Koloth doing his calisthenics.
I love when he first shows up and Odo says, "How did you get in here?" "I am Koloth."
He got in here because the door was wide open. Like, I rewound. His door was just wide open. Like,
Odo!
I don't know if that was a mistake. Because I saw that. He's like, "How'd you get in here?" I'm like, wasn't the door open? I rewound and like, yeah, no, the door's just wide the fuck open. He saw that it was open before he sat down.
Good luck solving that. Good luck solving that fucking mystery, Constable.
Yeah, seriously.
He's a bad detective, guys.
Normally he's not, but today I think drunk or high or something.
Yeah, today he is the bumbling Columbo character for real.
You know what it is? It's hour 15. He's due for a nap.
So how old was Curzon when he died? Because if this was 81 years ago that this thing happened, and presumably Curzon was around for it.
Yeah, Curzon must have been 100 or 120, which isn't ridiculous for Star Trek.
Yeah, no, that's pretty normal. And well, plus, I mean, he's a Trill too. We don't know how long.
Yeah, we don't know what their deal is.
5 years.
Yep. Accurate.
Like, we know that, I mean, the oldest we've seen canonically, as far as humans go, is McCoy at 120-ish.
Yeah. And that's just because he was too stubborn to die.
That obstinate fucker. I love him.
But then, yeah, aside from that, like, you've mostly seen alien races, and they just, in general, seem to have, like, making it to about 200 is a non-issue for a lot of them, it seems.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, no, of course they're still alive. What? So, yeah, we don't know how Trill... I wonder, too, like, if they ever establish, like, a joined Trill lives longer than a non-joined, because there's some extra biological oomph there. Or do they live not as long, because they're getting sapped by a worm?
Because they get used up.
Like, a non-joined Trill lives to 300, but a joined Trill only makes it to 200.
And also because Dax keeps sleeping around and getting STDs.
Yes. God, probably gave Kirk a run for his money on the, like,
Yikes,
count.
Yeah, too true.
Kirk really didn't fuck that much.
No, but he made it for lost time in the movies.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that.
Fair enough. Fine.
Yes,
I really liked the discussion between Jadzia and Kira.
It was good girl talk.
It passed the Bechdel test. Yeah.
Fuck the Bechdel test.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect test.
Yeah, it's not like.
But it is a really nice. It is a really nice low bar that still somehow is missed all the time.
It's because it's not a bar that absolutely needs to be required. But okay.
I know, Ames. You hate women, we know.
I do.
But yeah, no, I did really like. So this actually plays into something my friend pointed out to me. Is that Jadzia basically has every reason to not do this.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely every reason. Constantly. Oh, yeah. Like, the people she's trying to help are saying, you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Cisco is saying, you made an oath to the Federation, you shouldn't be doing this.
We will fire you.
Kira says killing people takes something away from you, and literally says nothing positive about it, even though, she was killing for a good cause. Like, and it is, I think, really interesting that, like, so there was no good real reason to do it, but still there was something about, it was like a confluence between Jadzia, Curzon, and Dax's, like, personalities that kind of pushed her to have to do it. But it was all internal. Like, there was no external forces being like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely, like, a way you could have imagined this episode where the 3 Klingons show up and then try to force Jadzia to follow a blood oath Curzon made.
Yeah.
Like, and you could have easily have, treated the script that way, but they don't.
No.
I'm very glad they went this way.
Yeah, that would have been a way worse episode.
Right, but, like, it's like, you could definitely see that being a Star Trek
episode.
episode.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they did it with Dax. They could have been let's just rehash Dax and, like, no,
yeah,
don't
but
do
this
that.
episode, they give Jadzia the power to make her own decision.
Right.
Finally.
Which is fucking great. And she's the one that has to convince each of these other Klingons and Kira, and failing to convince Cisco that I think I should do this. I think I want to come with you. I think I'm still the kind of person who can do this. And she has to, and I don't know how much she convinces herself, like, oh God, I could die.
Yeah.
Because Kang is an idiot. Damn it, Kang.
I don't super get why Benjamin was being such an asshole about it.
Because you can't let your officers go off to murder somebody.
So you just don't tell him why you're going.
She wasn't gonna lie to him.
I think she was just gonna leave.
She said she was going to drop by first.
Right, but she might have just said, can I have a leave of absence for like a week? And he might have been like,
to murder someone? No.
Well, again, she didn't have to tell him she was going to murder someone.
Did Jadzia tell him, or did Kira
Kira told him.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to tell him.
Kira told him, but she did say she was going to go and request leave of absence.
Right,
we don't know what she was
never
going
to say, because I'm going to go murder an albino.
Yeah. Although he might have put 2 and 2 together. Even if, she was like, I'd like a leave of absence. Have anything to do with those 3 Klingons you've been hanging out with?
And
I remember Curzon telling me that story about the Blood Oath.
And that really loud conversation you had with Kira about killing people and what it felt like.
Yeah, weren't they just in the middle of ops having this conversation?
They pulled off. Kira pulled her aside to, the
it's a
corner.
Big cavernous room. Everyone can hear everything in there.
In show shorthand, they were in private, but they were not in private.
Like O'Brien was literally just in like a little divot below them working, like listening in, like, oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, and so along with the the idea that like she had every good reason not to do this, I really like the end of this episode because it's just so there's a specific moment Sisko says where it's like, so you think you can just leave, you can leave and just come back like nothing happened.
Worf did.
I know.
Worf went and killed Duras and then showed right back up and said, "Picard, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hi."
But it's like, but Sisko like makes that point, and I really like the end of the episode where the last shot is Kira walking onto Ops, and you see Sisko or Jadzia walking onto Ops, and you see Sisko and Kira just look over at her, and they don't say anything. There's no moralizing. They don't make a big point. They don't say, oh, this was the right thing to do. Instead, it's Jadzia showing up to work like nothing happened, but you can tell that Jadzia is not really great. She's not doing quite okay with the fact that, it's like she basically got some, it's like assisted in someone dying. Sisko is visibly disappointed and Kira looks sad.
Yeah, it's also that she disappointed Sisko, which I think is another major element of it. It's like, I did what I thought I had to do, which was not what you wanted me to do, and I'll understand that you fucking hate me for a while.
Yeah, but it's just such a good way to end the episode because they don't justify it. They don't say it was wrong, they don't say it was right, and they just show silently like what you did has an impact, and I really like that for the ending of the show because a lot of Star Trek episodes would have some overarching moral argument they would make at the last second.
It's okay to kill Duras because Duras fucking sucks.
Right? Yeah.
Well, except that is true.
None of us like Duras.
No, fuck him.
But yeah, instead it's just a quiet moment, and I think that speaks to things that the show will continue to do that are different from mainline Star Trek, typical episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Koloff.
I'm Co.
Core.
I'm Core. Core is my favorite. The albino was a jerk.
He was.
Yeah, I wish I didn't really ever get a sense of what his deal was, other than he is a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
And that is all you need to know.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a pirate.
And he was not prepared for any of this.
No, not really. He thought he was just going to murder 3 people.
Yeah, he thought they were going to show up, knock on his door, and he was going to kerplode them.
Yeah, everyone was going to have guns trained and explosives ready, and
they were going to get to go out in a blaze of glory, and...
There, I've given you an honorable death.
Now
Fuck
leave me
off.
alone.
My thought was...
Live in my Frank Lloyd Wright house.
My thought was, fine, fucking albino is evil yet again. Because that's such a fucking thing. Yeah. And my second thought was, I wonder if they made the Klingon in Discovery an albino as some kind of weird homage. They're not related at all, but I was thinking about it.
I feel like great. Fuck my life. Jake. I feel like Jake would have a great tinfoil hat about this, but I don't know how it would come together.
I'm pretty sure until it was revealed what was actually going on with Vokh, Jake was thinking maybe that was supposed to be the albino.
Oh, really?
I know.
I feel like I remember him saying that.
It's a lot of
also, I did do a quick skim of his Memory Alpha article.
Whose?
The albino. Canonically, his species is not defined.
Oh.
Um,
I assumed it was a Klingon.
He looked like a Klingon.
So there was a moment where he says, "Don't let those filthy Klingons in here."
yeah, that's the thing. He
Well,
referred.
yeah,
I know,
But
but
because
Well, I think it was like
Klingons are filthy.
that
It's
Klingon
obvious.
trash. Like,
yeah,
that Klingon trash is
Yeah.
what he said.
I was definitely under the impression like this wasn't just him being like these are trashy members of my species. It's like this is that trash species that I hate.
I don't know. I've called people human garbage.
Yeah, but
It's the same. It's the same thing.
Feelings, Kate.
Well, you know what you did.
Also, his although he has a weird sort of lumpy forehead, it's not quite.
No, I would never call you human garbage.
It's not the same kind of lump, and his nose is not a Klingon nose. It's like
Yeah,
Well,
they
they-
didn't do almost anything to establish anything about his character.
he
I
wasn't
think-
important. He was a MacGuffin.
Yeah, and I'm less impressed than about that.
In the novels, he was in fact established to be a fucked up Klingon,
Funny.
but novels don't count.
Yeah, and for some reason albino, because albinos are evil.
Yes.
I mean,
Always.
there's Simon.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my best friends is an albino. He's awesome
And
evil.
and evil.
He keeps killing the firstborns of all my Klingon
I
friends.
just can't stay mad at him, but he's killed so many of my firstborns.
So none of the Daxes have killed before.
Oh, they must have.
I figured it was just Jadzia had never killed before and
Well, it
was
sounded like
uncomfortable with
sounded like Curzon hadn't.
Oh,
Because
maybe.
I think they were forming it as Curzon would never do something like this or something like that. They said.
Curzon would totally do something. He was a jerk.
Yeah, but he wasn't a murderous jerk. He was more a lecherous jerk.
I mean, I think there's a non-zero chance that other Daxes have killed, but maybe in more in. I mean, Curzon was in Starfleet,
This is
so
also
like,
a super intimate killing.
yeah, that's what I'm about to get to.
That's
That
true.
what I think. It's not necessarily that they haven't killed before; it's that it's never been like this, and that's even like
Premeditated.
because here's the
killing, too.
thing: during the whole big fight scene, Jadzia was fucking hacking down, nameless, faceless soldiers left and right. The issue became when he put down the weapon and was like, "Kill me in cold blood." Yeah. Can you? That's where she faltered.
Now, was she knocking them out or was she killing
I'm
them?
pretty sure she was killing them.
There were a bunch I assume
yeah.
she knocked out. I think
They only showed her knocking someone out, and then the other was kind of an out of frame fighting that you couldn't really tell if she was even using the sharp end of.
Yeah,
the
I know
weapon.
they gave themselves they gave themselves so much time with all the fight choreography and stuff and all the violence on this episode. They gave themselves 2 whole days of fighting in this fucking house.
I actually thought the fighting was pretty good for
Also, it was
Star
good.
Trek.
A
yeah,
lot of the
real good.
close-up
Yeah, it was
stuff,
good.
like when it was literally that same batleth moving upwards.
Yeah,
That they did, I swear, 20 times.
I mean, they love that move.
It's a good move once.
Yeah.
Please stop doing nothing but that move.
Well, I mean, we've already seen it how many times in TNG, for fuck's sake, before this episode.
How many times?
Probably at least 20.
At least.
But yeah, overall, like, I didn't notice that as much. But yeah, it was a good clusterfuck. It was a pretty big fight in a relatively small space, too, when you think about it. Like, that was not a huge set. And there were a lot of people in there. Like, that must have been a fucking nightmare to choreograph.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of work, it sounded like.
And it paid off, I think.
Well, plus especially because you're working with. Well, actually, did the 3 old dudes do like any or a lot of their own fight stuff?
No idea.
I don't know.
I was gonna say because I feel like you want to take it easy when you're working with aged actors.
Yeah, you only do the really close-up stuff with them and just put anybody in a whole bunch of makeup and a wig.
Yeah.
Older actors who are, like, dying under all that fucking latex.
Yeah, I
Poor
think there was a quote from one of the actors who was like, "I haven't worked in 6 years." This like, and then he was thrown into like heavily prosthetic Star Trek episodes.
Well, it's not just the prosthetics, too, but, like, none of them had, like, a light costume.
No, the costumes are really good.
Koloff
Like,
was in the full fucking Star Trek 3 gear. Kor, the drunk?
Yeah.
Kor was in fucking piles of furs. And then Kang, similarly, just really all heavy clothes. Jadzia had her, like, Klingon light outfit, which I thought was just delightful.
Oh, yeah,
I
she
liked
looked
her
good.
outfit. That was a cool
good
outfit.
note.
The darkness of the top area and the darkness of her hair looked really nice
Yep.
together. Like,
Yeah.
she looked good.
Yeah.
This was a good episode. You
It
should
was.
watch it if you haven't.
If you haven't, why are you listening to this?
Some people like to get information secondhand from entertaining people like me, Jake.
There was a great line. I forget which one of them said it. It was, look upon your executioners, killer of children.
Oh, yeah.
Loved
good.
that
It's
line.
such a
I
good-
want to give it to Kang because I feel like the Kang is kind of like the leader.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, dude, that's how you should walk through every door.
I am Koloff!
I just go into the Cheesecake Factory. Look upon your executioner, killer of children. Table for two.
Killer of cheesecakes. Oh man, I want a cheesecake. Fuck you guys.
Every time I walk into a public bathroom.
Ooh,
No.
that sounds good.
Look upon your executioner, killer of children.
I was trying to figure out, so did Kang assemble them all together at Deep Space Nine to find Dax?
So
Because this was unclear. Because
that
I read
had been the idea.
I read a couple synopses that it was unclear, like, because they didn't know that Dax was Jadzia. Did they still think it was Curzon?
I think they did.
So
Okay.
there is a line where Jadzia says, "They came here to tell me."
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like they had no idea that she was around at the beginning. So it seemed like for the first chunk of the episode, it was because they were using Deep Space Nine as a meeting point to go to this, to go to this planet. And it was just where they could meet up. And then later, it was implied that they went specifically for Dax to let Dax know.
Right. We found the albino. You're still in on this, right?
But like how?
Oh wait, you're not Curzon?
How could they have not known that?
I don't know.
And still found, like, they would have been like, it's like, oh, it's Jed, because like they had no idea about Jadzia. But in order to find Jadzia, they would have had to look for Jadzia, which means they would have needed to know about Jadzia.
Maybe their magic blood oath, best friends forever bracelets lit up when they sensed the presence of Dax, and we're like,
Very possible. So yeah,
and they didn't seem to know that Curzon had died, which is a little sad considering they were such good friends.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them just having like kind of, after 80 years, like having fallen out of touch. But yeah, that just seems strange. I still feel like, especially like they would have wanted to know, like, did Curzon die in battle?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
nope, he died on a hospital bed being pumped full of drugs.
Yeah.
He's having his worm ripped out of his stomach and shoved into me.
I remember both sides.
Gross.
But yeah, so that part I think was not properly established ultimately.
Yeah, that quite confused me.
But it's like it feels like that's the misstep of the episode, and like that's so minor. Like,
yeah, compared to some of the doozies we've seen.
Oh, truth. Hard to truth. No, this is the Dax episode I think we've been waiting for.
Right.
Yeah. After many attempts at being like, but this doesn't teach us anything about Dax. Okay, thank you.
Finally a Dax episode.
Finally, she's here.
Finally
the first Dax episode ever.
It only took, though, 2.5 seasons?
No, this is season 2.
1.5.
1.5 seasons?
Yeah.
We didn't get a single Beverly episode in 7 of TNG, so she's
Remember
doing
Me
better
was
than...
good.
That's true, but that's still not
come on, Sub Rosa was about
but, like,
Beverly.
It was a good episode, but I mean, when you think about, like, knowing anything about her as a person outside of I'm a mother and may or may not have feelings for Jean-Luc.
Sub Rosa, then.
No, I said Sub Rosa.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely Sub Rosa.
If you want to know more about Beverly, then Sub Rosa is your episode.
You
On
learn
the other
a lot
hand,
about what Beverly's into.
Yeah.
That or Attached, which is also garbage.
I don't remember that one.
Attached.
Where her and Picard have, like,
are,
psychic...
like,
oh,
linked at
God.
linked at the brain.
Episode.
No, well, you're allowed to be wrong.
It was cute.
Anything else on this?
Still sad there was no death yell.
Yeah, that
no
would've
death
been
yell.
really nice.
But as Chris pointed out, there was a song.
Yeah, at least
That's true.
Core sang them
Yeah.
a song.
Still, Jadzia and Core doing a death.
Yeah, that would be
Would've
good.
been
You know why they
pretty
didn't do it? Because it looks fucking stupid. That's why.
Yeah.
Because everyone fucking probably... I mean, we made fun of it, certainly, when Worf did it. I can't imagine anybody back when this was originally on was like, oh, what a great move that was.
Oh, you know what this episode does establish is that Curzon Dax opened the door to peace with the Klingons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Didn't see that coming.
thought that had been Sarek doing, but okay.
I loved that Curzon, in order to open peace negotiations, walked into the meetings. Kang was giving this long-winded speech, and Curzon just walked out on it.
Yep.
Like literally just turned his back and walked away.
Yep.
And
You should have seen your face.
Yeah. Kang was like, I almost killed you.
I know.
I was this close. It's like, no. It's like, I had to make you mad so that we would share a bond.
it's
Because
like-
Klingons are ridiculous.
It's like a Vulcan hello. You just have to be a dick to someone
Right.
first.
See, that's how a power move works, Jellicoe.
You badmouth my Jellico. He's gonna show up slightly late to this meeting, and that's a power move.
Yeah.
He's gonna stand with his arms akimbo to show he's making a dominant.
He's gonna show up in episode
stance.
9 of Picard as captain of the Enterprise F.
I'm here for it.
I would fucking love that.
One line and then I'm done.
Okay.
Jadzia has the line where it says, "You treat death like a lover."
And
that is an incredibly cool way to describe like the Klingons' attitude.
Oh
towards
yeah,
that
because
battle.
they fucking love dying so
right.
much.
Yeah, they're like, it's like, no,
it's their
like,
favorite thing.
I know. So I'm
And
so pumped. Finally.
They would have appreciated the line too, because it's very poetic. And you know how they love their poetry.
And they're Shakespeare. That's it. Like, they're like literally no one knows how long a Klingon could live because no Klingon has not been killed.
They died of natural causes. What is that? I don't understand.
You must mean a bear trap, right?
Yeah.
That's what you mean by natural causes.
Right, yeah. It's like, so like a tree fell on him.
Was he at least battling the tree?
I know we've already moved on from this episode, but if we're done with whatever this one's called, Blood Oath, I'd like to read you my notes from Profit and Loss as a poem.
As a poem?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
What is this?
It's sort of like haiku, except not at all like haiku. Cardassian terrorists. Quark's true love. Some kind of neck umox. Sexy Quark. Derek, you bad man. At the end.
I love it! Some kind of neck umox.
Some kind of neck umox.
With that, you're not topping that, so you should just...
It's killing me!
Oh no, Ames don't die. Uh-oh. Ames is
it's
going to
actually
die.
killing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You are too funny.
Oh, damn you,
No.
Caitlin.
Sorry, Ames.
I'm okay now.
Oh. Is that your voice now?
This is how I live.
Oh,
Good thing this episode's pretty much over.
If you liked that episode and you want to see if Ames lives, you can find a star to steer her by where all fine podcasts are sold. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Facebook by searching for a star to steer her by, or you can follow us on Twitter and Tumblr. We are at SSHB Podcast. You can also go to our website, in scare quotes, which is sshbpodcast.com, but which is really just a link to our Tumblr that redirects automatically to our Tumblr. But whatever, it's fucking great and you should check it out, because we've written fan fiction, and Ames, Jake, and Chris have all written fun articles about things like ship aesthetics and evil admirals, and you wrote a good one, and I can't think of the one. What's one you wrote?
The Wesley
Several.
sweater one was good.
Oh, yes! Wesley's fucking sweaters. So this, and next week we'll be watching 2 more episodes of Deep Space Nine. The Maquis. Maquis, sure. French, dead language. The Maquis, part 1 and 2. And assuming Jake hasn't died, probably Rossi won't be back, but if Jake doesn't make it, James?
I'm Jake.
Yeah, it might be you just forever now. Thanks for joining us again.
Woo!
Rule of Acquisition 112. Never sleep with the boss's sister. What? Oh, fuck! I'm Caitlin!
Yay!
I'm James.
This is Chris.
And this is Sometimes Ames.
Bye.
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 See those stupid commercials?
Please stop recording so I can cough. I have to make sure Man-Face doesn't die.
I should probably go home at some point.
You're not gonna move in, try to really lay claim to the whole Jake thing.
Thinking about it.
I'm Jake.
I'm Jake.
Oh, God.
They wake up in the middle of the night, you're prancing around the room wearing his clothes.
Jake. It's me,
cool.
Jake.
Jesus.
Show up at work.
I don't know what any of this work is.
I quit.
Whoops.
It's like you're doing a Worf instead of a Jake.
No, that was
I don't know. It sounds just like Jake.
It's like Jake's dad's voice.
No, that's not what
I'm doing Jake's dad's voice.
Even no.
It is closer to what Jake does for his dad's voice when
There's so much more nuance.
There is, but I mean, it's closer to that than it is to Jake.
Yikes.
Like, if I had to say what is Rossi impersonating, I'd say he's impersonating Jake's impression of his dad.
Jake's dad.
As opposed to impersonating Jake.
You're a better person, James, than Jake.
That's awful. Why would Jake's dad say that?
I am...
No, why would Jake as Jake's dad say that?
I am a madman. Jake's dad.
Oh dear, alright, let's settle
Oh, that was
recording. Huh?
Of course that was recording.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't think we were recording.
Oh, yeah, no, I am
play
not...
that back for Jake.
Not deleting any of that, but luckily Jake doesn't listen to the episodes, so you're safe.
You might have to listen to these because he hasn't been here
You
for a
won't know of our hot takes.